and then he pulls the carpet out from under you and beats you with it. And then there's a golf club for some reason, and he's frying an egg with freaking Mangekyo Sharingan. And
his wife's there just beating the shit out of you as well. What's going on?
And his feet are ducks. It's just like, you know.
Hello! I'm Brock.
I'm Burke.
I'm Alex.
And we welcome you back to the Yonko Podcast. We are reviewing One Piece Chapter 1067, Punk Records. If you are joining us here after watching our read-through of the chapter, welcome back. If you're jumping straight into this and joining us for the first time, welcome.
Hi.
We're happy to have you here. If you like this video, like the video, please. Send some comments. Why are you wearing your hat sideways?
Don't talk to me.
You're disgracing law.
Just...
If you like our content, subscribe. Ring that bell so you know when we release more of this content. We want more friends. Tell your friends to come subscribe. Or we'll cry. Please. Anyways, on to the review. Put your hat forward. I will.
it shadows my eyes. I was trying something new. Anyway.
That doesn't work.
1067 Punk Records. Well, frickin', what are we calling him? I'm Punk? No, Stein? Punkstein? Punkstein.
There you go.
That was it.
That works.
Punkstein continues the lore dropping about a variety of things. Himself, his fruit. Whoa, he has a fruit.
Whoever you are, you're really fast.
Marie Joie, a robot that attacked Marie Joie and failed. Some scientists back in the day who were like, yo, I like robots. Let's hide this from the most powerful people in the world and hope no one finds out about it. Ballsy. Yeah, let's dig into that.
Dude,
Bonnie hates bugs.
Yes, that was actually surprising of her.
I did not expect, Bonnie to have, first off, a weakness that fun, but a weakness shown so early. Like, I thought, like, in a fight, maybe something would pop up. No, bugs.
What's funny is, like,
Swarm of bugs.
It's so traditionally girly, and we never see that in One Piece. So it's such an because it's such an interesting thing to see out of such an interesting character.
A character that's portrayed as quite tough and very knowledgeable. And
she eats like Luffy.
And quite deep as well with, the lore of the world and the intricacies of some of the politics and the connection to Kuma, which has ultimately many more connections as well.
Yeah.
And then bugs knock her out like they have Conqueror's hockey. She would not have done well.
That's how it is. He learned how to infuse bugs with Conqueror's hockey.
Yeah, I hope she never meets those two Tontadas that have the bug devil fruits that they have, because that's a no diff in their favor.
Are they actually bug devil fruits? I thought they dressed like bugs.
No, they were model Bumblebee.
Yeah, I think they were actually
model something else.
At first when I was thinking about it, I thought they just rode them, but yeah, I think you're right. They actually
two of them actually had devil fruits, and the rest rode them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very fun moment for Bonnie. We'll see how long she's passed out for this.
I believe the Kabuto Beetle one was named like Scott Lang or something.
Something like that. They're cool though. I think it was Honey. I think it was
what?
Wasp. Was it Wasp and something?
That makes the joke even funnier.
But yeah, I see this very much as kind of like a device where
yes, I finally got it.
Where Punkstein doesn't have to tell.
Wasp, that made it even funnier.
Yeah. So I see Bonnie being knocked out by these bugs as kind of like a way for Oda to not reveal all the information that Punkstein is going to eventually tell her, because you can't tell someone something when they're passed out. It won't help anybody. So that, I think, is going to be quite a reveal when we do get that conversation, because she has something for her, which I think you, definitely not me, maybe Kat, said that he might have Kuma's original brain.
I said that.
Was that you?
And I was the one who was like, oh, he's going to Wi-Fi transfer it.
I quite like that idea, because Kuma, at the end of this chapter, is headed somewhere. Wouldn't it be so nice if he suddenly got his senses back?
Wouldn't it be nice if he were human?
And then Kuma takes down CP0. No diff. It'd be good to see Kuma fight again. That'd be him versus CP0. That'd be sick.
I'm interested in seeing, because I know there's probably a bunch of different, there's different sides on this. And honestly, I'm happy with one or the other. Like, I'm okay with showing the growth of them beating them easily. But at the same time, I think it'd be super cool if, for the first time, a returning, villain who's actually still a villain actually showcases some serious growth power-wise.
If they actually fight, it sets a precedent for other villains to come back and get their fights again. Like Enel, who's on the moon and is coming at you, world, with the power of the moon. But no, that's one of the main reasons I like the idea of fighting an older antagonist who has grown, is there are some antagonists who have not been fully beaten by Luffy before and went on to do their dreams, which Eneru's was go to the moon. He still does that.
I'd say he was fully beaten by Luffy, though.
Official.
Oh, scans were wrong about that. Interesting. Queendom in the official, not kingdom in the scans. No. Yes, beaten, but he still continued on to do the thing he was trying to do the whole time, which was leave in his airship to them.
Why'd you put parentheticals around beaten, though?
Because
he was defeated in a fight.
Most people who are defeated by Luffy have their dreams destroyed and can no longer achieve. Right?
Luffy helped him achieve his dream.
Whereas
he beat him to his dreams.
I beat him.
He beat his dreams into him.
I guess he got him to really go there and have an adventure.
Exactly.
I don't know. I find Lucci and Eneru as similar antagonists in how they were defeated and how they continue to have things going on, whereas most of them we don't see again.
Not necessarily. I would say Eneru's was a bit more...
I think also...
I would say Eneru's was a bit more abnormal.
Crocodile also falls in that category with Cross-Guild and everything.
Well, I mean, technically his dreams at the time were crushed.
Yeah, I guess he could still look.
But he's still a returner, and I would probably post him more in kind of that middle ground. Obviously he's not gonna take Luffy's side if he could help it, but
Crocodile did at Marineford. You will remember he
he was
on a couple of occasions.
Oh no, he was like, I would rather side with you than give the Marines what they want.
Right, which is something I don't think you could attribute to CP0 or Lucci.
They're already on their side.
I would say Eneru's kind of in a similar boat, where if he wanted to do more shit on Earth, on the One Piece Earth, maybe he could. But no, very interesting. I'm very excited to see if they end up actually being the antagonist for this arc, or what happens with them, because they clearly could be. Very interesting.
Well, and also...
Excuse me.
I'm very interested in seeing if we will see, Blueno and Khalifa as well.
Yeah, because right now it's just clearly Kaku, Stussy, and Lucci along with
along with the Seraphim Kuma.
And you guys go ahead and follow me on the tangent if you want, but we all have seen Film Red, and both of them played pretty
decent
major roles.
And they were
specifically Blueno.
But Khalifa was not left out.
And they were dressed in all white like a CP0 agent.
Right. And it's just interesting that, with that movie, he could have chosen to focus on so many other characters in, the CPs. And he specifically brought those two back, maybe foreshadowing them returning.
So it makes you think, though, how many characters are actually returning from CP9 to CP0.
And I don't understand why Blueno and Khalifa, very much defeated the same as Kaku, wouldn't also be brought to the next level. Only Kaku and Lucci and fucking...
Jabra?
No. He wasn't, seemingly. But the fucking purple-haired guy.
Kumadori?
No.
Purple-haired.
The guy who broke his back.
Spandam.
Oh,
thank
Spandam.
You let that guy get to the next level, but not these other two who have devil fruits and are powerful?
Well, we also have to take into account the fact that, as confirmed by Who's Who, if you try to escape from the CPs, they're going to come after you.
Right.
So the choice here is either... probably the only people I could see choosing to leave CP1 and not go to CP0, who are that rebellious.
CP9, you mean?
CP9 and not go to CP0 would be Jabra, Fukuro, I believe his name is.
The owl dude,
the owl dude, and maybe Kumadori, because they're very freewheeling comparatively.
Yeah, but the devil fruit users, I would say that Blue Nose Devil Fruit alone makes him a huge asset to the CP organization. So that was always very surprising to me. Whereas Kumadori and
Well, it also
Owl Guy, they weren't that special or that strong compared to the top officers that some of them didn't return. Khalifa, for example.
I mean, well,
Jabba.
but to be fair, Kumadori.
I mean, he had a weak opponent in Chopper base form.
Well, I mean, like I have a feeling that he was mid tier among CP9.
I would say so.
I would say that he wouldn't be able to stand up to Zoro and Sanji as well as like Kaku and Jabra did.
Actually, that was when we had that power system.
The Dorukis.
Yeah, can you look up what those were?
Yeah, 1 second.
While we chat about this.
Oh yeah.
I loved Kumadori.
No, he was super interesting.
And his whole
Yo, yo, yo,
it was so Wano. I wanted to see him so bad make a cameo in Wano because that's his whole fucking thing. Is he's one of those
I mean,
what are the players?
it's a Kabuki.
The Kabuki, like
Yeah.
full on Kabuki, like I shall kill myself. Sorry,
Yes.
mother.
Doriki.
Yeah, Duruki.
Dariki. Okay.
Doriki.
Duriki. That power system that Oda introduced during Aeneas Lobby and then kind of forgot about because it wasn't that important. But where did Kumadori stack up with all of them?
Kumadori was 810 under Bluno with 820. Jabra was 2180.
He was the third weakest.
Yeah.
See, he's up there, so it'd be great to see all of CP9 again.
Yeah,
but
the only ones under Kumadori are Fukuro and Khalifa, so the ones I was talking about.
Mhm.
And then, of course, spawned him with, less than even a common Marine.
No, he sucks.
But at the same time, he's only a 10-point difference from Blueno.
Right.
So
Bluno.
I mean,
Yeah.
Blueno, yeah.
But Bluno was a cool, like, look at Bluno as a utility type character. He doesn't need to be the strongest. He literally can do crazy things with his Devil Fruit. It'd be great to see them return. It would be. But do you feel like this might be the arc where they could, or do you think Lucci, Kaku, Stussy?
It's possible.
So
Is that all of them at the end there? There's
Yeah.
some other agents on the boat.
Well,
but-
yeah, but they're
those
not
are like regular world
important.
government agents.
right. They're just
No, I mean, I'm of the feeling that. So as we get closer to the end, more and more crazy shit will start building up and start intertwining.
Sure.
It would not surprise me if this led to a tussle, but not a full-on fight yet. Maybe all of CP0 is not gathered. Because so far we only see these three together.
Well, they certainly are. There are a few more masked ones that we saw at
And we know
Reverie.
we know at least one survived Wano.
Yes.
Now we think maybe two.
His name is Joseph. Guernica was the scarf, and then
Bowler hat guy. Oh no.
no, that is the scarf guy. Oh,
Bowler hat guy.
You had
Maha,
Maha.
Maha, and then Joseph is the banana beard that we were calling the banana beard for the longest time.
But they obviously work in certain groups within CP0. So it could also fully be that, say, Blueno and Khalifa is one of those groups that doesn't work aside with these groups of three. It just really depends.
It's like a Kotsky +1.
Yeah, I mean,
Groups
but
of
also it also just depends on how many have, because like I said, like it might be like with how CP9 had 9 members, or 9 fighting members, right? And then CP0 might have 10 fighting members.
So here's my question then. Cypher Pole is showing up to Egghead with basically what we can all assume is zero knowledge that
The Straw Hats
Luffy
are
and
there.
Straw Hats are here.
Yeah.
Do you feel like if that knowledge comes to their attention some way, shape, or form, that they will retreat? Or that they will be even more amped to get in there and fuck shit up?
I imagine out of the three of them, Lucci would be itching to get his hands on Robin, because he said, like, he seems like the type of guy, like, if he said it 2 years ago, I will follow that woman to the ends of the earth. I think he means that, and I think he still means that. So I think Lucci will be just the type of person. And Spanum's not in charge this time. Lucci is.
Absolutely.
Spanum's where he should be as the yes man.
Yeah.
And then I can imagine Stussy and Kaku just kind of going along with him.
Following his
They're
lead.
very much go with the commander's orders type people. Especially Kaku. So I could see them doing it. But also at the same time, maybe Lucci has grown in his own ways where he's not so like narrow as to focus on that when there's something bigger he needs to take care of. Not so much that he's a better person, but he's a more effective agent maybe. So it's hard to tell. We have to see how he personally has grown. Because he might be more focused on like, no, our focus here is Vegapunk, not the Straw Hats.
How far do you think CP0 can get into this island without knowing that the Straw Hats are here?
I don't know.
Could you imagine like they break into the laboratory and like he's going to assassinate one of the Vegapunks and then he just notices all of them and goes, and they're like, and he's like,
wouldn't it be fucking hilarious? Wouldn't it be fucking hilarious
like
if, for the first time ever, Lucci showed the same face Emil did when his lighting didn't work on Luffy?
Right.
He was like, ah!
He's just like, he's like, I've come for you, Vegapunk. It's time to die. And then like Luffy like spins in a chair eating a sandwich. He's like,
who's Vegapunk?
You know?
No.
Like, I think
I imagine he'd handle it a lot cooler.
There is a
that.
certain beauty that I could see in that being the interaction that would be so Oda, that like the top intelligence group, like in all of the world that serves the world government with all these resources, and they are just as surprised as when the Straw Hats saw them when they were revealed.
Well, I mean, the Straw Hats aren't supposed to be
7,
here,
right?
like
it's
yeah.
just like,
even the Vegapunks weren't expecting the Straw Hats to be here right now.
it would be so.
But they're like,
funny.
oh, but they're here, so.
Yeah, but I feel like they're much more like.
They're much more like with it.
Yeah, they're kooky and fun. They're very Straw Hat energy.
They're a lot more similar to Straw Hats.
Yeah. What do you think, Burke? Is Lucci itching for a fight here if he finds out about Straw Hats?
He is definitely, like it's already been mentioned, he's itching for some Nico Robin because, you know, still got to be hurting from that last encounter. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a certain pride aspect for
there's
sure.
so much pride there, I'm sure. And obviously there have been so many orders issued about that woman in the last, few weeks of the One Piece world that it's just like, get that woman if she's present.
That is
So if if Lucci sees even a semblance of Straw Hat, like anybody, he's on that shit.
You know what?
Kaku, I don't think will have that same itch, like necessarily, but Lucci will.
Kaku feels
Kaku's ended a lot more respectfully.
Kaku,
sure.
he's more of like, I think, an enjoyment of the fight type thing, rather than like Lucci does it because dark justice.
Yeah, I love the Kaku Zoro fight.
For sure.
God, it was.
Well, and honestly, I think he could go either way because I think he might be itching for it. It might be probably a thing, but at the same time, Lucci also comes off as the type of guy who's like I don't think he's full of himself by any means. Yeah. I think he knows what he can do, and he does what he does. And he's like, "This is what I can do, bitch."
Let me flip.
But that's also why I think that maybe it's not so much a pride thing. It's like, Nico Robin's here, huh?
Yeah.
2 birds with 1 stone. I like. It's not like, "Oh, curse you! You did this to me 2 years ago." I think it's more like, well then, yes, we're setting that score early.
So now let me flip it.
Don't.
Let me flip it.
Don't do it.
Like Burke did this table. You motherfucker.
I'm sorry. Make sure he records next time.
Oh,
that's
stop
not
recording! So here's my thing. If Luffy finds out about Lucci first, because we've seen a very different Luffy in Wano very recently when Green Bull and Yamato and Momo were going at it.
Yes.
Where he was content to watch and let the protector and guardian of Wano do their thing. Does Luffy find out about, Lucci showing up and these old enemies and go, all right, let's go? Or is he like, well, you guys, it's your island. Best of luck.
No,
unless they ask him for help, right? That's Luffy's reaction.
I think in regard to what happened with Luffy, with Momo and Yamato and Green Bull, I think they were prepared to strike if it looked like they truly needed the help.
Yeah.
But I think it got ended before they needed to do that. I think they were on standby at that time, like just in case. But let's see if they can handle this themselves.
It was the most Yonko crew move I've
No,
seen.
it was the closest I've seen Luffy be to actually Shanks. He was Shanksing it up in that moment.
And the parallel of, I felt some haki I recognize.
Yeah, no, it was a super like this boy has grown into a man moment. But in this regard, I think so. I keep mentioning this, but Lucci's fight holds a special place in the series.
Absolutely.
Because as we know, well, at least as I figure, from the get-go, Luffy has been one of the physically most powerful people in the One Piece world. Like, most fights, if they didn't have certain powers or tactics, in a straight-up fight, he would beat the shit out of him. Like Crocodile. Once Crocodile couldn't use sand, he poisoned him and still got the shit kicked out of him.
Absolutely. In the most badass way possible.
Yeah.
With his own blood. As
Exactly.
The way to fucking...
it's so fucking metal.
Oh, shit.
Such a good fight. And so that leads to, and like, granted, he has, well, now we know Luffy had his own fruit as well, which, honestly, that even lends itself more to Lucci now, in my opinion. Like, even though he didn't know, doesn't change the fact that he had one hell of a mythic zone fruit, and Luffy physically stood, not only did he start it off superior, but stood toe-to-toe with him to the end, until Lucci just unleashed that final, jet Gatling, where they were both at their
you keep
limits.
mixing names in there because you said Lucci and the Gatling.
You know who I mean,
I know
right?
what you mean.
Yeah.
And
It's just Luffy,
I was
Lucci.
like really struggling to follow you for a moment there. My bad.
But, and so, there really hasn't been anyone besides, like, Katakuri who has been physically better than Luffy and brought him to that point. Because usually what brings him to that point is his own powers. Like Doflamingo, I'd argue that it was his Gear 4th that did him in more than any of Doflamingo's attacks, truly.
Easily.
Like, I mean, that's not to say Doflamingo's incredibly powerful.
Nope.
But I'd say...
But once he got to that form, Luffy was a step above.
Exactly.
And there was nothing...
If he could have stayed in that form for the whole fight, it would have been a lot sooner that he would have beaten him.
If he could have had 20 minutes in that form, don't be done.
But, and so that's why I kind of hype Lucci up a bit, because among Luffy's villains, he's a standout.
He is.
He stood against Luffy in a way most people can't, and he's like you said, he's kind of so far the exception to the rule where he's returned in a full reemergence of his.
There is a strong possibility he is going to face Luffy in this arc right now.
There's a strong possibility.
The closest a past foe has been to
and we know for sure he's an enemy. Like there's no like, oh, maybe. He's obviously, after the thing with the Celestial Dragons, there's no change of heart with this guy. He's worse.
But one thing I will say is if Lucci does put up that fight with Luffy, technically, and it's like a good, if it ends a very similar way to their last fight did, where like Luffy barely finishes him, dude, Lucci's Yonko level.
Well, so here's my thought on that.
If it's a 1v1.
Here's my thought on that. I don't think Lucci's Yonko level. I'm of the opinion that Luffy isn't truly Yonko level, like, isn't fully stand on his own Yonko level until he masters Gear 5. Along with Conqueror's level, similar to Shanks. I think that's when he'll get, like, okay, yes.
So you would put Luffy where right now?
Right below. Like
First Commander?
Actually, let's say there's multiple levels of Yonko.
Okay.
I would say
low Yonko?
Low Yonko right now.
Whereas Shanks is like high Yonko.
Yes.
Especially after Film Red.
Exactly.
Dear God.
Well, especially after the chapter with Green Bull. Like,
dear God.
you can call Green Bull whatever you want, but it doesn't change the fact that he was made an admiral, and like he fucking sniped him with Conquerors.
Well, I'm gonna call Green Bull a piece of trash, but
that's all right.
I'll leave that there.
But so no, I don't. I think it's more. I think if Luffy had free access to Gear 5,
right,
he would destroy Lucci. That's my opinion. I'm currently, just because it's such a big reemergence, I could completely wrong. It could be a complete upset. But I'm currently of the thought that since he's the closest to like the anti-Luffy and that he might have grown in the same way across the 2 years, he could at least put up a good fight against Luffy in Gear 4th. Which Gear 4th isn't quite Yonko level because obviously it did nothing to Kaido when it first happened. It's the hockey that made it truly.
Well, it moved him around, but yeah, he was not hurt.
Exactly. So that's why I think Gear 4th, being able to fight Gear 4th wouldn't make you Yonko level, and I think that's why it'd be okay to place him at a part where he can take him at what is essentially, say, Goku Super Saiyan 3. So that's my thought. But there's also, like I said, there's a chance that this might be a moment of like, oh, you thought this was going to be close. BAM! They might just destroy him.
Well, and maybe Lucci, and again, there is a very, I think, a slim possibility, but I think there still is a possibility that maybe they don't fight here.
No,
and something
absolutely.
else happens.
Yeah.
Because that's what Oda does.
And
he
that
sets you up for, like, thinking you know what's going to happen, and then he pulls the carpet out from under you and beats you with it. And then there's a golf club for some reason, and he's frying an egg with freaking Mangekyo Sharingan. And
his wife's there just beating the shit out of you as well. What's going on?
And his feet are ducks. It's just like, so...
What is he, Bon Clay?
If there is a way... Thank you! Literally, what I was referencing. But, like, that is what Oda will do to you. The minute you think you know what's going on, that's what he does.
That's funny.
But yeah, no, I think...
and that kind of goes back to us saying, like, everything's starting to meld together so much that it could easily, that this breaks off in the middle, and maybe CP0 will have to be all together before we see any fight between them, or maybe they'll fight against the revolutionaries, or maybe they'll be infighting with sword. I don't know.
Endlessly interesting.
There's a lot of groups involved now.
And you have Seraphim Kuma here.
Exactly.
Which, who knows what devil fruit they gave that motherfucker, and all of the things that come with that, because clearly the fucking Jinbei one has the swim fruit.
BT dubs.
Whew.
I recently, apologies if you haven't gone that far in the anime, I recently, the one before this current episode where Jinbei beat Who's Who, the way they presented his victory, where he broke his fingers and he was just all black and like, it was so well done.
Absolutely.
So well done.
So good.
Yeah.
Yes. Just had to mention that because it's stuck in my brain how just like, because Jinbei is officially my third favorite Straw Hat.
Zoro Luffy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm very mainstream.
That's fair. I wouldn't say Jinbei is a mainstream.
I'm actually going to say...
I'm sorry, Luffy and Zoro.
I'm actually going to say this, and this is how much Jinbei, especially like the way he's been portrayed in the anime, has like upset my top 3, is that it was Luffy and Robin, and now I'm like, Zoro, my boy, you might almost be number 4, dude.
Damn.
Oof. That is tough.
Damn. That's big.
I mean,
I wouldn't blame you for it because like
Jinbei,
he's such a good person, but it's like it isn't overstated. Like he's
a humble, chill guy. He's old and experienced.
I love his relationship with Luffy so much. I can't help it, man.
I love his relationship with Robin. That's why he's number 4 for me.
In the newest opening, nothing warms our heart more. Where it gets the part where like Jinbei and then Luffy's just hugging him,
hugs around his neck,
and I'm like
that.
That's essentially it. Like
he's wholesome.
I cry every time during the opening when I see that. Legit, every time.
So fucking like I'm never. I don't know about other people. I'm never truly disappointed with whoever the next Straw Hat is because they always come into their own. Or like Jinbei, they're already in their own because he's been doing this shit for decades.
Are you over Yamato, or are you still hopeful?
So here's the thing about that. With Yamato...
Tangent. Just forewarning everybody.
Tangent.
Well, I mean, I'm not...
I won't go super deep. I'm just curious.
I'm not going to go super deep either. Like, yes, it was disappointing, because I was like, oh, that'd be so cool. Well, Yamato's in there.
So built up, too.
It was very built up, but... The way Yamato presented it was very Yamato-esque, and what they did was... That's what Yamato would do.
I get the
because Yamato, like literally, it's also Yamato wants to be Odin, and like that's a path Odin would have followed. I'm not, and also it's a good mindset because fact of the matter is, Wano can't defend itself right now. It needs strong people, and like if she can't defend Wano, then she's letting down the memory of Odin, who's the person she most respects. And
I think Momo, with not too much training with his current body and his devil.
Oh no, he needs to work on it.
No, but like even with all the things he has, I don't think it'll take him that long to be the only defender of Wano. And I think Yamato could very easily leave it to him in One Piece time of a couple months, which is probably like another 1,000 chapters. But like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I don't think it's the hardest thing in the world for Momo to become that soul guardian.
Oh yeah, and I can. Well, also
freeing up Yamato.
He still has the Akazaya with him. The remainder of Akazaya is with him. And here's the thing too. I could see Yamato's if she does enter with the Straw Hats, I can see it being similar to Jinbei. Like, I gotta take care of this first, but then I'll be with you. And like, it might be literally
pops up in
she
front of the
might
next arc.
literally take the Odin place and like pop up in the middle of the adventure, or near the end of the adventure, because that's what happened with Odin. Like, he was with them for like 2 years, and then
traded ships to Roger.
So like, I was disappointed at first. I was like, oh, but at the same time, I'm like, it makes sense for her character, and honestly, it would be hard to wonder, how it would want to be defended with how hotly contested it is. So I think it was a smart idea, and Oda's just as a writer, to keep her there and give good reason for it. So the more you think about it, the more it's like, right move. Like, but also there's still a chance of seeing her later, because she has like, I'm going to join you when I'm done with this. And I truly believe that.
Yeah.
So I can see that happening.
Yeah. I mean, it was cool gaining 2 Straw Hats in Wano. I thought that was pretty cool. Even if we didn't get, Yamato as the third, still would have been.
But honestly, it even excites me to get like unofficial Straw Hats like Momo and Vivi.
Well, and then the official, non-official ones, like Zeus, for example, who is just sneakily now a Straw Hat,
Yeah.
Man's a full fucking...
Which, honestly, that's just fucking cool.
I know.
Like, it's like, I love that, and once again, I love how he's being drawn in the anime. I love how it's like they're building up the crew, but it's not in a stifling fashion that's obvious. It's like, but it's not gonna be the way you expect. Like, one of the crew members, he's a weapon used by the Navigator,
Anamorphic weapon,
who used to belong to one of the Yonko.
Yeah, who is probably still alive considering he's still around.
Yeah, probably.
That's one of the few hangers that I have where I'm like,
possibly. But once again, I still think of the Mother Carmel thing.
But also, I don't think she's gonna die.
I think that's my only hang up with not putting Big Mom to rest, is that Zeus is still around, and if her soul truly body was dead and the rest of her soul's like died, I would think Zeus would as well. But it remains to be seen.
But I'm right now I am certain that both Yonko are still alive.
Back to the chapter. I want to talk a little bit about Vegapunk's brain fruit.
Okay.
And first off, Oda, you're so so intelligent and fun with the Nomi. Like, God, props to you, man.
Yeah.
In addition to that, we're talking about devil fruits finding the perfect person to like utilize them. And I know you said like Zoans at one point.
I mean, the thought process,
because it's like an animal with like, a personality. It can seek, right?
that's what I believe to be the main process behind those fruits. But at the same time, it would not surprise me, because like, here's the thing: is there's they're called devil fruits for a reason. And it wouldn't surprise me if just the soul of a devil is the soul / living essence / power force of a devil is within each of these fruits. And maybe through the power of this devil, they're magnetized toward these people who are best suited for them, which would make sense.
Yeah. And I mean, just consider like the theme of carrying on will, or like carrying on a torch, right? Yeah. The Mera no Mi is one of the best examples of that. Could have ended up anywhere all those years. And you know who it ended up with? Sabo, my guy. And it's like, bro, like, it's more and more that fruits find the people that can utilize them almost to the best of their ability. And it's kind of cool. And Vegapunk, I think, is another example of that. The most uniquely intelligent man out there has the ability to basically learn everything and always be able to access it.
Well, I mean, you get... Doflamingo, the master manipulator.
Absolutely.
String fruit.
Absolutely. It's just such a good theme. It's so
whether that's writing or it's fated with the fruits. Either way, man.
Well, in the whole juxtaposition of like Luffy, it has a fruit that makes the most people smile, and it's a manga about a boy, and all these readers are smiling and laughing and talking.
And we talked about the meta.
Yeah,
what's wonderful about the Hito no Mi Nika fruit is that it's so wonderfully fourth wall breaking, but it works for One Piece, because at the same time it doesn't. It's very it's aware of what it is, but not so much that it like breaks the immersion because it's an original One Piece like concept. The god Nika,
absolutely,
Joy Boy, and so when it first got created, and it was like not only was it like that's so Luffy, but it's also it almost embodies One Piece.
And so Oda in the same vein.
Yeah.
Right?
And so it's just like because One Piece, it brings so much like laughter and like
joy,
you know.
And we're reading about Joy Boy and his adventures, like.
And so like you can almost think that Luffy himself is like the embodiment of One Piece.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it was such a cool twist and such a cool play on his part to like, oh, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Gosh.
It's not so simple, and I think we started to suspect that, but I don't think anybody truly understood just like what it was. And they're like, I expected it not to be that, but I did not expect it to be that.
Bringing it back to the chapter.
No, stay here.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm just kidding.
Bringing it back to the chapter, do you think Vegapunk will inform Luffy about what his fruit actually is?
It's possible.
If he knows.
Okay.
There's no way he doesn't know something about it.
He might know.
I wouldn't say he knows.
He might know
everything.
He might know. I mean, here's the thing: is
he's read all those books, right?
So,
and all those books have more than likely like the real Joy Boy in their folds and pages. And
here's the thing. For now, I am under the assumption that only a select few people know the nature of Luffy's fruit. And right now, I'm not ready to assume that he's one of them, just because he might not be directly tied to the fruit itself. And like you said, like he's the smartest guy, but he gets it from accumulating knowledge. He doesn't already have it.
True.
So he might not know about the fruit because, and it's not so much that he can't find out about it. It's so much that it's such an elusive piece of knowledge that was able to elude the world government for decades. That I think it's a matter of the power of a devil going beyond because like this is the same power that was given to Vegapunk, so it wouldn't be beyond the pale for this to be a piece of knowledge that goes beyond Vegapunk's knowledge at the moment.
Because
not saying he doesn't know.
Oh no, for sure we don't know.
Yeah,
we don't. I'm just maybe. So with that in mind, since he can replicate mythical zones.
Could he replicate the Nika fruit?
And I think that
they might be the wrong color, mind you. But if that is the worst thing about it, that is one of the most dangerous individuals in the world.
You know what would be interesting? What if Blackbeard's fruit is a Nika smile? It's crazy to think about. It might not be the case, but it'd be crazy.
No.
I'm just saying it's crazy.
Here's my question though for you.
But here's the thing, because like if we can make anything, if it can make anything happen, why not be able to take in more than one fruit? This isn't my official take.
If you believe.
If you
believe it can happen.
That's how it was explained, right?
Yes. If the user believes in themselves. Why are you staring at me so hard?
This isn't my official take, but it's crazy to fucking think about.
Here's my thing. We saw the fruit that Thatch was holding when Blackbeard got that look on his face, right? And that fruit specifically was not smile looking at all.
But here's the thing.
Let me continue.
Okay.
Let me continue because I'm going to get to your point in a second here.
Yeah.
That fruit that Thatch was holding looked oddly similar, just a little more spiky than the Gomu Gomi no Mi fruit that Luffy ate.
Yeah.
Which means very likely that Blackbeard thought the fruit he was eating was the Nika no Mi, or the Hito no Mi model Nika, right?
Maybe.
And then he ended up getting the Darkness Logia instead. I don't know. What did you show him?
Just a picture of the Yami Yami no
right? And it's oddly similar to the Gomu Gomu no Mi. Here they are. Very similar.
Which also...
But if the fact of the matter is he was after Nika from the very beginning and has had to change all of his plans up to this point with what he ended up getting instead, that would be insane that he changed his plan so severely based on that and is still winning to the degree that he is.
And regardless of what it would turn out to be, any of those is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And because here's the thing, with looking at the Yami Yami no Mi, it could easily be what it is, and it could be what you said, or it could be similar to the fact that it could be just like with Luffy's fruit, where it's not what it appears to be.
Right. It could also be a mythical zone that Oda has created for the main antagonist to his main protagonist, Sun and Moon, right?
Mm-hmm. Either way,
it's so interesting.
There's a lot there that I'm like, and your eyes were wide as shit just now.
They were really.
Do you have anything to say?
I just am like, what if everything we know about Blackbeard is absolutely wrong?
The little we do know.
Some people think he's an octopus. There's a lot of theories.
There's so many fucking theories.
Here's my thing.
But also, if Luffy believes he can eat more than one fruit, can he eat more than one fruit?
Vegapunk
Goddamn.
adds such an amazing and interesting dynamic to anything involving mythical zone fruits because historically he can remake them near perfectly.
Especially since, assuming things go somewhat to plan at all and he leaves the Straw Hats, there will be a direct connection with him now, rather than just like a name without a face.
And we don't know how many people's lineage factor he's been studying. We know Kaido's.
Man, I just feel like somewhere along this, the D is going to be mentioned, and I'm so ready for that. Like, it's so weird. Like, the one thing I get stuck on more than anything else in One Piece, in terms of, like, theories and lore, is the D name. Because I just want to know,
You
what...
had such an awkward pause there in between the D and name.
The D!
But here's the thing.
The D!
I just saw a theory just the other day that was like, oh, it's not a letter, it's a smile. If you just turn it on its side, it's just that fucking smile. And it's literally an emoji. And I was like, that's interesting and maybe plausible. I don't know. But yeah, I feel like Vegapunk has to be one of those.
I feel like we're breaking our own minds today.
This is a chapter that
I
can do
can't
that.
tell if we smoked some weed before this because everything he says keeps blowing my freaking mind and I'm hardly paying attention.
We didn't do that. But it's crazy, and Vegapunk is at the center of all this, and he is in danger. We must protect Vegapunk.
Man, I'm just.
And if he goes with the Straw Hats, who knows the possibilities?
No, and here's the thing too. And here's the thing too. If he doesn't know about the Nika no Mi, he's gonna be studying the fuck out of Luffy when he sees it.
Oh my god! If he knows what Luffy has, and if he doesn't know, and he
either way.
Here's the thing. If he doesn't know, then he's not finding out because Luffy doesn't fucking know. No one fucking knows what Luffy has.
Luffy. Well, here's the thing.
That isn't around him.
Here's the thing about Luffy. Is he seems to at least be aware of what state he needs to be in to be there. He just can't freely enter it. He's all we know is that it's the state when I'm most free.
He can't freely enter it.
He knows how to utilize his fruit, but he's still gonna call shit gum gum.
Well, yeah.
He has no idea that he has a godly mythical zone.
But that's the thing, is he literally was able to restart the freaking Gear 5. Obviously that was the Nika form, but he was get that beat going again and just
Right.
So I don't think it's that he can't use it now.
I think
he absolutely knows how to use it.
I don't know the amount of control he has over it and if he can fully utilize it. But that doesn't mean he understands what it is.
Oh, no, yeah, definitely
Which
not.
I'm almost certain Vegapunk would either help him to discover if he knows, or be like, oh, you're such an interesting... the next island. I'll stay with you till the next island. Okay, wait. The next island. No, wait. The next island. Oh, we're in Laughtail?
Just
I'm living with you now.
Just pulls the BB. Just saves them for the entire saga.
Is the Nika no Mi Sorry, the Hito, whatever.
It's right.
Model Nika, is it not the most interesting fruit on the planet, considering that the user, supposedly, whatever they put their mind to, they can do. Oh, my blood is like a liquid. I can beat the crap out of this guy.
Well, honestly, just considering the fact that it is a One Piece specific fruit that doesn't have any reference outside of One Piece is enough for it to be the most interesting fruit in the world.
Unless Blackbeard does something even more interesting.
Oh, for sure.
Luffy's got it.
That's the only other option to think of is like maybe he has the opposition of that fruit.
Luffy's got it.
So much there.
Man. So no. Very excited for Punkstein.
Yes.
What else to chat about? There's so much in here.
We've already talked about CP0. We talked about the Nika Nika no Mi and the future with Punkstein.
Tiny little thing. Because of Vegapunk's extreme importance, all of them, including Punkstein, as well as the possibility of more, specifically mentions that there are 6 of them on this island. Others could be out doing things and sending shit back.
We did mention that in our lost footage.
Yeah.
With that said, Vegapunk has the potential to be one of the most tragic characters because he is so important, because he offers so much in way of world knowledge and lore, because he has the ability to replicate things that would make the series so broken with Luffy and other fruits and things. His death or destruction, it could be very similar to that of the Oharan Library.
Well,
and I think it's a parallel that might turn out better than Ohara, or potentially a repeat in history.
I have a feeling.
I'm not saying it's going to happen, but the potential is dark, and I'm scared.
I have a feeling that with the awakening of Luffy's literal god mode, that's going to... I have a feeling that that's going to change what might have happened if he had not awakened it, essentially. Because literally, he is now the epitome of hopes and dreams.
Yes.
Quite literally.
Yes.
Of laughter and joy. Like, I imagine with...
I was supposed to be quick.
That's what she said.
And it was.
Anyways, I don't know. I feel like maybe there's room for a tragedy here and there. Like maybe...
Wano had them.
No, Wano had
recently,
them, but they were also Wano specific.
Sure, but I'm saying Oda seems to be maybe a little bit more okay with tragedy coming off of Wano.
So I'm of the like, and I'm not denying that it might happen again.
I hope it doesn't. I love all these characters.
Oh yeah, I'm of
not Shaka.
I'm of the mind
it's too cool
that between Pedro, and
continue. I'm perplexed where you're going with this.
No, well between I think these deaths happen for a multitude of reasons, but one of them is like I think in Pedro's case. That's what happens when you come against a Yonko. That was the first time going fully against a Yonko without their full crew, for one. I think that was a lesson learned from that experience, was the fact that if you're going to go to their home turf and not with your old crew and not ready, you're going to lose someone.
Yeah.
And then with...
I wish she'd actually been lost to Big Mom and not Sparrow.
But I mean her crew.
No, I know, but
that
was the worst son to die.
The idea. You get the idea.
Yes. I don't mind, like...
it was a great sacrifice.
I hate Sparrow, and like, come on.
But like, he's not weak.
It wasn't like he was weak.
He's strong enough.
He thinks that he should run the Big Mom.
Well, yeah, no one disagrees. He's an arrogant ass.
Nobody likes his attitude.
Well, and he's not as good as any of the sweet that's just my person. Go ahead.
Well, nobody.
The sweet generals should come on.
You know, he's trying to play the oldest card.
He's just
anyway.
Sucks.
But and then also with Ashura Doji and Izo, who died in Wano, that's the first fully blown war we had with the strongest pirates of the last generation.
Absolutely.
And so I think that was necessary to show what had to happen for them to get there. But I think it is possible that with Luffy's newly attained form, and because I think this is literally the start of the new generation right here, was the defeat of those two, because like they were basically the pirate remnants of the generation before Shanks. And so I think with the creation of this new generation is also a new hope, not to quote Star Wars, but a new hope, a new potential for
like the Empire Strikes Back,
avoiding the crap that happened in the past,
right? Like a Return of the Jedi.
You shut the fuck up.
Sorry.
And which is why I think it'd be cool if, say, there was almost a mini repeat, not so much a full on repeat of
So like a Force Awakens.
No. A ghost is back in Lucci, so it's a Phantom Menace, really. Don't talk to
Technical difficulties.
You know what's interesting about this thing that we're going on? With Judge's whole thing and all of the clones that Vegapunk's making, it could be considered a bit of a clone war, if you would.
Maybe an attack of Sith clones would be beneficial to us.
An attack of Sith clones? Oh, they do
My
wear a
joke
lot
to
of
you?
black. They do wear a lot of black, so it could be like the revenge of the Sith in a sense. Sorry, I think we got all of them. Brock, what were you saying?
But then Sanji does an ultimate skywalk, and it'll be the rise of the Skywalk.
Hey! Well, he's a walker, so Rise of Skywalker. Right.
In Alex's defense, this is payback for all of the Foxy.
Yes!
Why are you defending him? You do it too!
I know.
You do what I
But
don't
in
do
Alex's
it.
defense, you'll find something that is like my moment of
You'll
hey Lauren, will you beat the crap out of your husband / fiance?
The latter, not the former yet. Brock, can I say something actually?
No.
All right.
You already said enough in the last 5 fucking
That's a
minutes.
wonderful point.
Because I can't remember when I was on because of you two.
Well, we were talking about the wars and the deaths and the importance of them.
I think that there is, in short, now, I think that there is, I've lost my motivation. In short, I think that with the ascendance of the new generation and Luffy's ascendancy to basically, I'm going to say godhood.
Sure, why not?
It's godhood. Yeah. It's a god fruit.
Yonkos are gods in senses.
Yeah, that's true.
Really?
And so I think that, what I was saying was I think it would be cool to have like a mini Marineford where it doesn't even have to be Sabo, but I think it'd be a cool parallel of this time he saves the person in question.
Sure.
Because he's an accumulation of a new Yonko. And a new generation. I think it'd be super cool. And
that person is Vegapunk? Or you're just saying eventually?
Just
Luffy.
a person.
No. Like Luffy saves
Luffy is
Vegapunk.
saving
it could be
a
Sabo,
person.
it could be Vegapunk, could be Dragon. I don't fucking know. But it's like the cast keeps growing.
I think,
more than it shrinks.
I think what's interesting about wars specifically.
Oh yeah, war never changes.
In Wano we lost 2, right? Izo and
Ashura Doji.
Ashura Doji. He's my least favorite scabbard, I'm sorry.
Jesus.
But in Marineford we also lost 2 in Whitebeard and Ace.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the rule of 2 is an important thing going forward to be thinking about.
I don't think so.
But here's my other thing. Obviously, Oda talked about Marineford looking silly when it comes to the final war, right? He's talked about this in numerous things.
Like, just talking about how,
the scale of it,
yeah.
everyone that's going to be involved, which means that perhaps the death count in that and the characters we lose could pale in comparison to those. But I think as we get closer to that final war, losing a few more here and there, and I'm not saying I want this particular, but I could see him, like, preparing us for that. With Law's undecided fate. With the Vegapunks becoming under attack from a new and improved Lucci and CP0, there's a lot of potential for those tragedies. And I think we can all agree that Vegapunk is so lovely, and we all love him, and he's, like, such One Piece.
I'm just waiting for Sanji to kill the younglings as, the rise of Skywalker.
Mr. Cook, what are we gonna do?
But then he'll come back to the light, and he'll be the last Jedi. Bada bing, we did them all.
Hey.
And he killed himself finally.
Jeez. But no, I agree that there's a lot coming.
A lot of Star Wars references
and
coming.
I think Oda might be in a way preparing.
Oh, you mean Lucas? Don't you mean George Lucas?
George Lucas. I can continue this if you like. I don't want to. I was just gonna settle for the Star Wars films because we have series that I could start dropping to. You know. Could be a real Andor on this island. Anyway, no. Well, someone got it. Yeah. And I really love Vegapunk, and I don't want anything to happen to him. He's my sweet little kitty bitty, and I want him to be safe. So no one hurt Vegapunk, please. He's too nice.
Cute little kitty bitty?
Yeah, he's a bitty of a kitty. What are you doing? Where to go next?
I mean, we definitely covered the main
Are we like
stuff.
reawakening the robot maybe?
I don't know.
Because we could use that to fight them. Here's my thing. The Vegapunks, like, they have to have a way to fight CP0, right? And Shaka literally says, prepare for battle, right? So it very much could be...
How many Seraphim do you think they got on this island?
Right. We have potentially... Well, and that's true. That, you know, we've got Mihawk and Boa, who are returning from the island of women. So we don't know if they're back yet, but they could be.
Yeah.
We add Jinbei to that mix.
Yeah,
they are returning a Seraphim of Kuma, so that's 4.
Well, not returning, but...
Well, they seem to be trying to bring him back to be fixed, right? A few chapters ago, they mentioned that this is a problem child. We're bringing him back to, you know,
gotcha.
There to be fixed. So maybe they'll drop him off. Maybe they'll go, oh, you won't let us dock? Well, then we're not returning him. I don't know whose orders the Seraphim will take if it comes down to that type of thing. My assumption would be the creator, but...
Yeah.
So there's 4 there, which means we're missing 3, which if we go with the original warlords, that's a crocodile, a Doflamingo, and...
Moria?
Yeah, Moria. Those are the 3 that we do not know. Could be here, could be somewhere else.
Buggy?
Well, again, we don't know how many of the warlords they made. I'm just going off their original 7.
Law?
Law could be. Blackbeard was a warlord.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of possibilities depending on
all
what the
the
process
Marines
is.
could have had their DNA given. There could be like a baby Aka Inu. Maybe the reason that fucking Oda, maybe the reason that Oda drew all the admirals as kids was so that he could later introduce Kid Admiral fucking Seraphim. All I'm saying, dude. I want to die.
What else is new?
Again, Vegapunk is at the center of a very dangerous operation here.
He always has been.
Which is why he needs to be taken out at this time. Before he gets too powerful.
I thought you wanted him protected.
I do. But, you know, this is the mind of Lucci.
You're a psychopath.
I'm just saying. Well, he is a psychopath. You're right. It doesn't seem like the mechanized sea beasts are going to be stopping them anytime soon. They already blew up the chopper-looking one. He's a reindeer with a hat, so it's tough. Oh, Chopper's going to die. That's foreshadowing.
Oh, good.
Sorry, Cat.
We also got to take into account Bonnie's addition to this potential fight/escape too.
Yes.
What can she do besides change her age? Like what kind of fighting?
And other people's age.
Yes. What kind of fighting can she do?
Well, she kicked Luffy.
Well, yeah, but like Nami punches Luffy and it
really
hurts.
Don't see her do much fighting.
Well, we haven't. Out of all the supernovas, besides the Monk Arouge, we've really seen like nothing of her besides her getting captured by really powerful people.
And like aging down some.
Yes. So we haven't really gotten the chance to see her fight.
Well, and there might be more allies on the way. Kuma's heading somewhere at the end of the chapter. The revolutionaries are trying to do something. The Revolution Army is just getting started, right?
Yeah.
So there could be a lot more happening on this island than, you know, we are...
Well, I mean, I think there's a lot of forces swirling around this island.
Yeah.
That might peak at the island.
But that's the thing, too. Kuma, if he gets his senses back, can bop people anywhere. And if he knows they need help, bop, 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 now we're all fighting CP0, and they are clearly outclassed. If the revolutionaries show up.
Shut up.
But yeah, this
brought it up.
This could be quite the arc.
It was a laugh of pleasure.
who all shows up. My other thing is maybe Vegapunk just wants to get away, like, and kind of leave.
I want to get away.
Yeah.
I want to fly away.
Sail, but sure.
What?
Sail. They want to sail away on a boat.
Come sail away. Come sail away.
Sail!
So I don't know. This could be a very fight-heavy arc.
Is that too
This could
shocking?
be.
I thought my Styx reference was very good.
This could
Yeah,
be a
but
very.
Animation
This could be a
reference is
very
better.
secretive getaway arc. I don't know.
I'm sorry, are we doing a podcast right now? Are we doing a
Oops.
podcast right now? Oh, hi, camera.
Hi. What?
No, yeah, it'll definitely be very. I think there'll be a lot of.
I think the next few chapters will really kind of let us know if we're gonna get away from here and run, or if we're gonna face this head on, and a lot of allies are showing up.
You know,
Be a weird place for Dragon and Luffy to meet for sure.
I
Yeah.
can see.
But Vegapunk and Dragon met on Ohara. Luffy meets both of them here. Be kind of a fun little triangle.
It'll be very interesting once he does meet his father.
But is it Egghead, or is it later, or is it never?
I'm thinking. I'm thinking it might be later. I'm under the. So. I'm like 60% thinking. It's let's get away and protect Vegapunk. 40% let's stay and fight and protect Vegapunk, and then get away after we beat the people currently.
Yeah.
But honestly, I think those are also the most obvious options to choose from in terms of what could happen.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could see them getting away in a bunch of explosions and shit. Like, who knows what CP0's got hiding.
Shaka is ready to fight, so they have some form of defense. Now I'm very excited to see
And also, we got to take into account the fact that Sama seems to be interfering personally with the world now. So that's something we got to keep an eye out for. And if it was him that did that, you know, in terms of destroying that island.
And what does Vegapunk know about that?
There's a lot of pieces that have been introduced on top of what we don't and do know that could easily coalesce here, or they could lead into later. So it's really hard to be able to, because there's that's the thing about One Piece is no matter what they put together, there's always more pieces that get added in for the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
So we never truly know if this will happen or something else will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, it never, like, crossed my mind at the beginning of this that we run into Bonnie here. Like, I knew she'd come in sometime, but I was like, oh shit, it's Bonnie.
Yeah.
But it makes sense. We've been meeting supernovas left and right, you know. All we got left is Mad Monk or Rouge. Last time we saw, he beat that sweet general and then got beaten himself.
And then watch Kaido
And
try
then
to
he
commit
watched
suicide.
Yeah, Kaido fall off a cliff.
Sky Island.
Sky Island.
Was that after?
He was all bandaged up.
He was all
so
bandaged,
the last
so
thing he probably did was beat
the sweet commander.
Snack and then get beaten by Cracker.
Oh, okay. Either way, he was...
He is the last supernova
that we
not
don't see
dove into.
we don't see a shit ton of right now.
Yeah. Which, if he has connections to Skype and all that, maybe there's a reason that he's being held off for so long.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But with that, and the idea that we're going to start talking about what's coming next, we'll jump into predictions in the next video.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for joining us on this review of Chapter 1067, Punk Records. Please like, subscribe, give us some comments. See what you like about this. Help us improve. We just want to hear from you. So we'll see you next time in our predictions video. Bye.